sure they can all get in. Cool. Awesome. Cool. All right. This is it. This is the studio. This is where it all began. And everything in here, construction-wise, is original. So that means the floor tiles we're on are the same ones that they stood on. The wall panels are the same, and Marion and Sam put those up. And you can actually see that they're the same in the picture behind the guys, which is pretty cool over here. And the ceiling was made for acoustics. They built it like that on purpose for the sound. So, okay, I'm going to start from where I left off upstairs. We had Elvis, Scotty, and Bill in this room for that first time all together. And Elvis was standing in this vicinity right over here, so we put an X on the floor because Sam told us that's where he was standing, so we believe him. So we let him out. You can be Elvis if you want, sir. You don't have to. And then there's an X kind of in that area. That's where Bill was, the bass player, and then the X over there was Scotty, the guitarist. And then Sam was, of course, back here in the control room. There might be someone walking in and out of there right now. It's not Sam. It's not anybody important, so you don't have to pay attention to what they're doing. But anyway, so he was listening to what they were playing that first time. But he still really wasn't that impressed with what they were doing because Scotty and Bill were in their own country band together back then, so they were playing just their own songs. So Elvis was trying really hard to follow along with what they were doing, but he doesn't know their songs and isn't really into country, so Sam wasn't too impressed, but he was kind of being nice that night. And he said, okay guys, why don't you just take a break? And he said, go next door into the restaurant where the gift shop is now. It used to be called Taylor's Restaurant over there, and it had air conditioning, and the studio didn't. So they would be over there a lot to cool off. So Elvis took his break, but he knew that he was probably about to get kicked out of here. So everything he was about to do was just kind of at a nervous energy. So he just came back in pretty shaken up, and he started to shake his hands and his arms and his legs. He started just dancing really crazy around the room, and it was the first time he did that in front of Sam. And he wasn't really by the microphone either, so he wasn't being amplified by it. But he was kind of just slightly singing under his breath one of his favorite songs, which is called That's All Right by Arthur Big Boy Crudup, which, he was a huge blues fan, so that's why he was singing that. And Scotty and Bill were starting to pack up, but once he started to sing, they took their instruments out and just started playing along with him, just pretty slightly. So Sam just saw how crazy Elvis was acting. So Sam barged through this exact door right over here, and he came in and started kind of yelling at him, and he just said, "Elvis? Is that you? You've been holding back for me for this entire year, coming in and doing all those really slow souvenir sessions, and you have this in you?" He said, "Please keep doing that. Just do it louder and crazier. That's what I've been looking for this entire time." And so after Sam yelled at Elvis, he recorded That's All Right in about 2 takes, and he loved what he had in those 2 takes. So apparently Elvis just needed a good yelling at. And so Sam took that recording over here to this man in this picture. He's pretty important in the story as well. His name is Dewey Phillips, and him and Sam, they weren't related. They were just good friends. They happen to have the same last name, but Dewey had a radio show here in town. It was called Red, Hot, and Blue, and if you were a teenager, that was the show you listened to, but I was told if you were a parent, you hated his show. But we have one of those first broadcasts of him broadcasting That's All Right for one of the first times, and I'm going to play it. And before I play that, I just want to let you guys know, Dewey's a very country-sounding person. You might only understand half the words he's saying, and then he also starts to moan in the middle of the song, so when you hear that, it's supposed to happen. It's actually part of the recording. So, all right, here we go. This is one of the first times Elvis is on the radio. It's on Red, Hot, and Blue.
Oh, yes, sir, good people. So Phillips, let's bring the hottest cotton-picking thing that cuts a red hot blue coming through WHBQ and Hotel Chisco on the magazine floor. Ain't that right, Diz? That's right. Party call Sam, Putney. I got to call Sam, Diz. Ah, Pete Picker. How you getting along in there? Intensely earned. How you getting along, buddy? Pretty good, Putney. Get you a wheelbarrow load of mad hogs, run them through the front door and tell them Phillips sent you from Red, Hot, and Blue. And I got a new song we're going to play here. They're going to cut loose this new song.
Requesting it, and then Dewey went a little crazy himself actually because he played it 14 times in a row. So he just kept playing it. So Sam knew that that was a huge deal and that never happened. So All he did was just brought Elvis right next door into the cafe, and he signed him to a 3-year contract here with Sun. So it happened that fast, right after that song was released. So Elvis just came back in here, and he started to record songs for Sam the way that Sam liked, and those songs were becoming huge around town. But the contract had actually only lasted 17 months at Sun instead of the 3 years, because Sam was a smart guy, and he was still just running a very small local label at that point, so he really didn't have enough money to promote Elvis the way he could already tell what he deserved to be. So Sam worked a deal out with RCA, who was a national label, and he sold Elvis to them for $35,000, which you have to remember was a lot of money back then. He probably could have got a little bit more, but Sam called that his greatest business decision. And he said it was because it was still just him and Marion at that point. So now he really could start hiring a lot more employees, and now he could start be promoting the other guys that were walking in here. So without that sell, we would have probably never heard of people like Roy Orbison or Jerry Lee Lewis and Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash. So if you think about it, it wasn't that bad of a trade-off, at least for us, because now we get to hear their music too. So, okay, I know we're all Elvis fans, but I got to talk about the other guys too. So everyone's cool on Elvis, right? I just need a head nod if you're okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to talk about Carl Perkins real quick right over here.